Again.
Another little thing to be pissed off about is there's a scene where James passed by a movie theater, and on the movie theater marquee is Jacob's Ladder. Fuck you.
Oh, fuck you. No,
Oh,
fuck you.
Fuck you.
That makes me slightly less angry about portions of Fallout Season 2. Because at least it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't a second, Dregs.
Dregs Mark II. Dragging out the dregs for everybody. I mean, listen.
The finale gets a double serving of dregs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, this keep in mind, everybody. Hi, everybody. This is for everybody right now. We did some dregs earlier. It got us ready, as it usually does. But hey, this is special. I am here. I am David King. And over there, Abysmii is here.
Hello.
And over there, it's Alan Cheney.
How's it going? I'm still thinking about Return to Silent Hill. Sorry.
You don't have to torture yourself anymore.
We're not
in your personal hell.
I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But
you already did, so you're good, right?
You're going to lament it, but we don't have to discuss it.
Yeah. Right. How do we put a bow on this? Because as we've teased for a while, and as we've kind of let it hang for a couple months, sorry everybody, stuff's been happening. We do this when we feel like it. That's kind of how it's working now. Hopefully you understand, because everything around us is weird and stupid and insane and, you know, all that stuff. I don't need to get into it. You don't come here for us to remind you about the existential dread. You're here to laugh with us for a little bit, hopefully. With that in mind, my train of thought completely derailed from the point I was in.
That's right. That's right. You all aren't here just to listen to how all of us want to.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you. You're here because we want to put a nice little bookend on the regular run of Undercooked analysis, which is this is it. And I thought, what in the world do we do for episode 200 that's special? Well, there's two things that we regularly do that we haven't done in a little bit. And I figured, why not both? So we're going to talk about Fallout Season 2 because Bethesda.
Yeah.
We got to put some of the dregs forward. So yeah, we're going to talk about that first. And then if you have enough time at the end, I got a little fun little throwback, a little fun little creepypasta throwback, because creepypasta is dead. We've beat that dead horse for a long time. And I'm just going to give everybody a shovel.
Yeah.
So we can all get one good thwack in before we put it in the ground and give it its last
Just
right.
a reminder that creepypasta is dead and Dronian killed it.
Yep. It's all Dronian. Dronian stood over the corpse, fired the pistol, and said, how could Cleric of Madness do this?
You could make the argument that Dronian actually killed UCA.
Yeah.
Dronian killed the UCA star.
Think about it.
Yeah, we're all looking at you, Dronian. I'll never forgive you.
You could have been cool. But
you could have been, but you weren't.
I
want to thank...
Who wants to go first?
Oh, you mean talking about Fallout?
Yeah.
Well, do we just want to kind of give our overall, just kind of where our feelings are at first? Because I'll tell you one thing right off the bat, if I may.
Sure.
Compared to Season 1. So remember when we had the discussion, the dragging out the dregs in Season 1 about Fallout, and we were all buzzing with the possibilities of where things could go in the next season, right?
Yes.
I remember that giddiness. I don't have that same feeling about going into the third season after this one. Now, it's not for me being jaded with the show personally. It's just because the parts I was really excited about, the speculation about seeing what kind of story they chose to tell in New Vegas, that part's over. And now I can kind of let go of some of the expectations and go, okay, whatever happens, happens at this point. Because we're moving into some uncharted territory, but also there's still some kind of weird threads left hanging that could have been resolved if maybe there was a 9th or 10th episode. Kayla and I have discussed this off mic, obviously, and we are of the mind that there could have been at least a couple more episodes to give this whole season more breathing room. With that in mind, my personal perspective is like it did what I kind of hoped it would do. It did some things I hoped it wouldn't. It left some things hanging that I wish it hadn't. But overall, I enjoyed it, and I'm still on board to see where it goes. That's my general thoughts, but I will get into the thick of it as we go.
I am halfway there with you, and you brought up a very interesting take, but I want to hear Alan's overall impressions.
I think very similar. There's a lot that felt rushed. It would have been nice to explore a lot of things more in depth. I'm still of the opinion they're doing fan servicey things like the right way.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that, like, I know people who know nothing about Fallout the game series who watch the show and think it's good. Mm-hmm. So I had that thought in the back of my mind as like, does any of this register well to people who don't know, like, Fallout New Vegas?
I want to put a pin in that.
Yeah, me too. Actually.
I want to put a pin in that point you just made. But please carry on.
But yeah,
welcome to Jameson Tapes.
Yep.
What a time for me not to have a Sunset Sarsaparilla.
I think they're maybe getting close to the point of being like, hey, fans of the game, look at this. But I don't think they quite breached that aspect yet. And I, without knowing that the showrunners of this show previously did Westworld, knew that they previously did Westworld.
Yeah. I didn't know that either, but that tracks.
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch Westworld.
I did. And they can claim a mastery of the whole idea of telling stories that bounce between multiple timelines, which is a big part of what they did on Westworld.
Mm.
Okay. Good that I know that. So oh my God. I guess I'll do the short and the long of it. So the short is it, and I don't remember if everyone recalls what my big negotiating point was from the discussion of season 1, which was I really hope we kind of put to bed at least a little bit of flashing back to what happened before the bombs dropped, because I'm really not that interested. I want to see them explore the world of Fallout. The fallout of the major horrible decisions by mankind.
Yep.
And that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I had temporarily some fun fan service, but I am feeling very much wanting, and that's where I'm at. And that's my short of it.
Okay.
The long of it is, man, number one, and this is like, I can't really blame the writers that much, because this 8-episode format needs to fucking go. It's really, really bad. I have seen this in other shows, other miniseries. Unless you're fucking Chernobyl, you can't do this. And Chernobyl, as far as I'm concerned, is perfect. And also, it's not seasonal. Like, it's just they told the story and they're done, and they did it perfectly. Even if there's some historical inaccuracies. Something like Fallout, which is much bigger, if you're going to tackle something like New Vegas itself, could be 3 fucking seasons. There is so much to that game. Do I need 3 seasons of New Vegas? No, not really. But I felt that we would get a reference to something, and I would love it. Like, I love the fact that half of the kings are like ghouls now. That was adorable. Mm-hmm. That was hilarious. And then they were gone. And then we saw Siege's Legion, and it was this tiny little, like, 2x2 camp with maybe 50 people in it, and they're gone. And then the NCR is there, and they're gone. And then they're back, and then they're gone. And, like, nothing, like, New Vegas, for as expansive as the map is incredibly lived in. There's things happening all around you. You are encountering tons of different people, even though it does feel like a expansive Mojave Desert.
Right.
New Vegas in this season is really empty. And you could argue, like, well, that's because of what happened after, but they don't really say what happened after in very definite terms that are satisfying. And so, like, New Vegas is set dressing for them to, especially towards the end, those last 2 episodes, the amount of flashbacks we had got on personally so irritating. I don't care anymore what Coop did in the past. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. His wife is a horrible person and should have died. Lucy's father is a horrible person and should have got shot. I just want to move on from this, but I'm realizing that no, this is the story that the showrunners want to tell. And if you're into that, more power to you. It's getting real difficult for me to give a shit because I just, like, I don't need the mystery of who dropped the bombs first told to me. It doesn't matter ultimately. What matters is what humanity did afterwards. And I spoke with a fellow turbo nerd who also loves Fallout, and they brought up the interesting theory of this, the messaging of this show is strangely veering into, look, we know that the government's run by a bunch of billionaires who don't give a shit, but I mean, look how human they can be, though. You know, and I guess there really is no way that we can actually oppose them. Just let it happen. And since they said that to me, it's real difficult for me to not see it because they're focusing so much on the human element behind gigantic billionaire tech corporations in current year. And that's kind of where I'm left right now. And I don't know how to feel about season 3. And I just laid a lot of things on everybody. So,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to
watch
think how
Silent
to
Hill
address some of
Returns.
this. I'm trying to think where to put some of this because, you know, we're all turbo nerds about it. I think,
Right.
I want to address something real quick, and I'll come back to this with y'all. But Alan brought up how the show feels to someone who is not familiar with Fallout. Kayla and I watched pretty much every episode of this season as it came out with my mom.
Okay.
My mom is not a Fallout fan. My mom has not played the games. My mom didn't even know what Fallout was until I happened to mention it to her in passing that I thought that the season was good. And then my mom surprised me one day that, hey, I watched all of the first season and I really liked it. And I said, oh, that's great. And you felt like you followed it pretty good. And she said, yeah, it made sense to me. Like I was, oh, cool. So when the new, and then she got kind of excited, like when the new season comes out, would you want to watch it with me? And I said, that actually sounds really cool. So I got to have the experience of getting to watch this show happen with my spouse, who is very much a big Fallout nerd with me. And my mother, who is not very familiar with Fallout, but is along for the ride and is laughing whenever me and Kayla are excitedly something comes up that's an Easter egg or a reference, and we both go ooh ooh ooh, you know, like that's just kind of the feeling we have. And again, I think I can say from her perspective, from my mother's perspective, she is on board. She doesn't have a hard time following it, but she's also someone who likes to go, ooh, I wonder what that's about, and then goes and looks into like explained videos or talks to us about, so what does this mean in the longer run? Yeah. Not that it needs to be, but just to help do that. But my mom is also a person who's a bigger Star Wars fan than me. So
Paprika is not, has not played Fallout.
Right.
And had, I think, enjoyed season 1 more, was very lost in season 2. And of course I was there next to her going like, ooh, look. And she said, okay, what does that mean though? Okay, who are they? And why is that like that? And I had to keep pausing it to go into nerd mode. And I feel like, and I was profusely apologizing because I was being, that person. But, she was totally fine with it. But she basically said, yeah, no, I don't quite understand where a lot of this is coming from. Because you do kind of get introduced, like we doubled our roster essentially in this season.
Yeah.
We have a lot of subplots, and a lot of them are intertwining together.
Right.
But if you're not down with what they're going towards, which for me is, for the show is everything that was set up beforehand, it's like, it kind of loses me. And I think it lost her a bit too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think on that, though, that might be a good way to approach it. Like the different subplots in this season. And obviously, I should have said this earlier on, but we're going to just not worry about spoilers. We're just going to get right into it.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just overall, just if you haven't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, don't listen further. With that in mind, this is your last warning. Okay. do we want to approach this based on subplots, or do we? Because there's one other thing I want to address that you brought up, and I think has been kind of ringing through in my mind, and one of the things I'm disappointed by.
Mm-hmm.
I think their decision not to commit to a canon ending for New Vegas is ultimately like they're trying to thread a needle by not doing that, but it makes it feel very unsatisfying when you're in this world and it doesn't feel like anything, they can't answer any questions.
So I am, and this is what I wanted to happen, is that they would not commit to a canon ending. I'm fine with that because this is the challenge of adapting something like New Vegas. Which one do you choose? No one's going to be satisfied. So the best thing is to not do it. That I'm totally fine with. But what you can't do then is change how New Vegas is and feels.
Mm-hmm.
And ostensibly, like when we get into New Vegas, oh no, the death claws from the quarry took over. Well, then you're kind of deciding an ending. You're doing it via a random side quest, but you were cutting everything short. You're saying that the battle for Hoover Dam, which was about power, which has been completely subrogated because cold fusion, and it just like they moved so many things out of New Vegas to make room for this new plot. And because they have done that, it's almost worse than choosing a canon ending for me, because New Vegas doesn't really feel like New Vegas for me.
No, it feels...
Yeah,
you said it. I think you said it pretty well. It feels like window dressing to a degree.
That's my big problem, and I don't really need much. Like, I understand that the rest of the show is not going to take place in New Vegas, and they're going to go somewhere else probably in season 3. Maybe they're going to Colorado. Who the fuck knows? But my problem is if you're going to go through New Vegas, just make it feel like it. Like the NCR, and like if season 2 had been the Ghoul and Lucy just trying to navigate this giant war between the Legion and the NCR and trying to find Lucy's dad, in New Vegas, I'd be perfectly happy. That would have been fine. And then they exit by the end of it. I'd be like, awesome. We got our romp through New Vegas. I'm fucking stoked. I loved all the shit I got to see. Throw in as many goddamn fan service things in there. I'm happy. But that's not what we really got.
No,
we spent so much time on House, and House is one of my least favorite characters in the game and definitely in the show. I don't care. Like this is me. This is all me. Like, this is utterly subjective. So if people loved it, more power to you. I'm really not trying to poo-poo this, but
and it is ultimately going to be subjective, because one of the things I thought they did well personally was characterizing Robert House.
Yeah, I think Justin Theroux's performance as House is maybe my favorite part of the season.
It's a really good. It's a really good acting job, and frankly, like, some of these subplots I fucking love, like Chet and Steph. I think her name is Steph.
Oh yeah, with Steph from.
I love the fact that she's Canadian, and that's a problem. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I didn't know if the show was going to touch on the annexation of Canada.
Yeah,
being a thing, but I kind of love that they did. Like, that's a fun bit of of lore that you don't get to see a lot of in the games that they kind of get to explore here.
Precisely. I thought that was great. My issue is, by the time that comes around, this is subplot 35 with character 437. And I am so I want to care about this, but I can't, because I am so bludgeoned over the head with we're flashing back. And it occurred to me, you know what? If they had met Steph and Chet along the way and these became companions, why can't we just do the show like this? Why can't we just... We're adapting a video game. A core thing of Bethesda games is what companions you have, especially in New Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't seasons just be companions you meet and then you learn things? Because at least then, for me, the show is progressing. Here, I feel like we are never really leaving Vault 33 or whatever, because it's always coming back and we're always thinking about, well, what happened in the past? And I personally just don't... I'm not interested. But I want to hear how you felt about these subplots.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we've established kind of where we feel about, or at least at least you and I feel about Vegas as a whole, because I guess
Also, sorry, I love that Culkin is Milwaukee Culkin is Caesar. I thought that was fucking great.
Oh, the Lacarta Legate?
That needs to come back. I thought that was great.
Caesar's Palace.
Fuck yeah.
No, I mean, okay. So, and I do want to address it from the nerd perspective, because I have some thoughts. Because real quick, the thing I have been deeply curious about that they still didn't touch on. This is why I think it's less about them committing to an ending as much as trying to find a way to explain for those of us who are begging to find out what's happened to NCR since Shady Sands evaporated, basically. They must still exist they definitely still exist in some capacity, because a whole contingent of them roll in when Maximus is trying to defend Freeside from the Death Claws.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, okay, maybe next, because the thing is, we're setting up for that we're not leaving. At least one of the subplots is not leaving New Vegas next season, because we're going to have to deal with the Legion and the NCR once again fighting for control of Vegas. So, but I guess where my issue is, it would be nice if, even if they've kept it vague, being like, even if a character had just said, well, things haven't been the same since the second Battle of Hoover Dam. There could have been stability, and then Shady Sands blew up. Then everything went to shit. Chaos ensued. People kept fighting for control over the city. You know, there was a little nod to that by that guy who's now running the Atomic Wrangler. But it's vague. And I'm like, I need some answers. I need people to actually start asking questions like, what the fuck happened to the new California Republic as a whole, despite Shady Sands' destruction? Is it gone? Are there pockets or remnants? Was the capital moved, and that's why, even though it was a blow? Because my mind, it's like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that things would be scattered and weird for the Republic after the destruction of Shady Sands. That's fine. What I feel like they're dancing around something that I need more, that it feels like should be addressed more.
And that was especially hard to watch, because then you have the ghouls saying, "Shut up, it's not important."
And I'm like,
which is kind of saying to the audience, "Shut up, nerds, it's not important."
No, it's apparently more important that we get your flashbacks.
Right. And yeah, I like either commit or don't is my take on this. You know, you can't just dispense with something like the NCR and just kind of leave it up to, oh, I wonder what happened. I mean, they're all blown up, but maybe they're still out there. Well, no, it's either one or the other, dude. Like,
yeah.
If we're moving to Colorado eventually, if we're eventually going to the Commonwealth, and you're just going to leave all of these open questions that you have, we already had open questions. Creating more on top of them is not a service to anybody.
No, that's exactly my issue. Is I wanted to hope, and I'm hoping that since NCR is now in Vegas, that someone fucking takes a moment and talks to them and asks them, so what happened?
Yeah.
Because it's not just a bunch of like people camping in the hills now for 20 years since the fall of Shady Sands, which apparently is a different event than the nuking of Shady Sands. Because people have pieced together, and this has been confirmed, somewhere in the vicinity of New Vegas happening, that's when Shady Sands gets nuked. They're using Maximus's age as kind of a timeline for that, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. I just wanted to get that. That's my main issue. I kind of also want to know what's happened to the Legion since then, since we only saw this tiny pocket of them. I know they've been divided. I know they're still looking to claim Vegas. But what happened to them in Arizona? Do they still have a stranglehold there? If there's a contingent of the Brotherhood of Steel in the Grand Canyon, I can't imagine the Legion is as strong as it once was. If the Brotherhood can have a Grand Canyon chapter, which gets alluded to.
Where is Helios?
I mean, we saw it in the background,
and
in Novak or whatever.
Well, and then when Quintus is like, I'm unlocking the ultimate weapon here in this location, I was like, oh, sick, Helios. Oh no, it's Prime.
It's just Liberty Prime again,
which is not even here. It's in Fort, a different fucking coast.
Right.
Okay.
The first one got blown up in the capital Wasteland. The second one might not have even been built, depending on what ending you go through in Fallout 4. So
here's the weird fucking thing about this show is that at the same time, it's also like predicting what I want, because the episode where I said, where the fuck are the super mutants? I really want to see one. They did. They gave it to me. And I was
Yep.
like, oh, cool. And then immediately the ghoul leaves, and I was like, no, why didn't you just join them? Oh, that would have been such a good twist.
Yeah.
I think the Commonwealth having Liberty Prime is canon, which is why everyone is so fucking afraid of them.
Sure.
The Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I think we can kind of confirm that at the very least, someone didn't do an ending where the Brotherhood of Seal died or Maxon died, because they mention Arthur Maxon by name in the show.
I don't mind that Quintus knows about it. I like that.
Yeah.
To me makes sense. And that is one of the portions of this season that I really enjoyed, was the Brotherhood's chapter masters meeting and then having, this weird tense, almost civil war. I thought that was awesome. But then this kind of ties into my issues with Maximus. The first season sees Maximus failing upwards in a very, very convincing way. It was actually very, I think, emotional. I think the way we end season 1 with him realizing that Lucy's gone and that everyone is finally giving him the adoration that he wanted was very powerful. And I was so excited to see how he would be changed and would run with that.
This may have been me reading too much, but
Sure.
I enjoyed that the different chapters of the Brotherhood are basically different kinds of Republicans.
Right. I'm not into this religious shit.
Yeah, there's like Christian fundamentalists, there's MAGA, there's all that shit. There's all that shit, and ultimately they're all just assholes.
My favorite part of that was like, you guys are a bunch of robot fuckers. That was one guy, and he was well within his rights.
Yeah.
I read that. It was so good.
Well, honestly, yeah. If we're delving into subplots, the Brotherhood is a great place to touch on here. A lot of that stuff was really fun.
I also subscribe to the fan theory. There's all these like, oh, this NCR power armor, was that belong to Courier 6? Did Courier 6 join the NCR? Is like all this NCR stuff belong to Courier 6? I still think it's the snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
I've heard two good theories about the snake oil salesman. I do like the idea that hypothetically the snake oil salesman could be Courier 6. That's really funny to me. Someone else posited that, oh my God, why can't I remember the name? It's Francine and what was the other Garrett's name?
Oh,
male Garrett.
Fuck. I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
The male Garrett twins. Some people think that the snake oil salesman is him.
Yeah.
Which is why he's in a relationship with Fisto.
Yeah. That's one bit of fan service that made me very happy, seeing Fisto.
Oh yeah. And straight up it was the same Fisto voice, which was great too.
Yeah.
But quickly back to Maximus.
Right, Maximus.
I don't basically nothing changed in this character, and he still just doesn't know where he wants to be or what he wants to do, other than he likes Lucy. And then I feel like the entire point of his character was just to run Cold Fusion to Lucy at the very end. And they were talking about, the theme of this season was civil war. Every faction's about to have civil war. Yeah. And you can't, if you do that so much and then it doesn't happen, was the point of season 2 just to set up season 3? Obviously shows exist to do that. There is going to be some carryover from one season to another, and ideally by the end of that season you are getting a glimpse into the next one. I understand that, but because of how temporary everything felt in this season, at least in Vegas, I kind of was left with going, well, why bother then? Was this just a purely transitionary season? Because we spent so little time with Caesar's Legion. We spent so little time with the NCR. Like I said, everything felt like convenient set dressing. But we also feel like we did that with a lot of characters. And I really wanted to see Maximus kind of just, for lack of a better term, grow up. But we didn't. And we kept going back to his friend. And I just don't know.
There is one Maximus quote that I think this season, I think, is the start of the change of his arc. And I think it was halfway he has this line that's, I don't choose to do the things I have to do, they just keep happening.
Yeah.
And I think of that as a turnaround for his character. And there's also I think the moment at the end of the season when he's out of the armor and has like the dartboard and the harpoon.
Yeah. Oh, the roulette table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. Another great
Yeah.
great visual.
That moment of like there's not always going to be
Power
a big suit of armor that's going to keep you safe. And to me that's him finally outside of the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
and
yeah.
And this is the season where I finally realized the significance of the Yao Guai scratch mark over his Brotherhood of Steel symbol, which I think is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's good.
He's originally NCR, essentially.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I think I think it's interesting because it's just like I honestly think I'm of two minds, or not two minds. I mean, it is complicated with Maximus, but Maximus, I think when we did stuff happened with him and the stuff with the Brotherhood, or even him with Dane or Thaddeus, it was like, okay, I'm here for this a little bit more because we're trying to find. He's trying to kind of work his way around it. I didn't see it as just him trying to get to Lucy as much as trying to figure out how to kind of get back where he was. Cause like, I guess he's looking for, the impression I got was the sense of belonging as being thrown off. Because if anything, I felt the scene where he's trying to figure out if he can kill Quintus and this is essentially another father figure to him.
Yeah.
But I almost got vibes of him like the freezing and stuff happening, just like him not knowing how to deal with the fact that his new father figure is essentially a raving narcissist, and how he has to deal with that, sort of the fact that he has to leave a problematic family behind,
It just feels like drawing out him learning very basic fucking lessons. He saw what happened between Lucy and her father in person, essentially.
Right.
And then we took another season for him to learn it. And granted, this is my preference.
Right.
Obviously, some people understand and appreciate that this happened over 2 seasons. For me, it just kind of makes him look like a giant dumbass. And as a giant dumbass,
he is undoubtedly an enormous dumbass.
Yeah, I think we joked consistently the first time we were doing this that he definitely took the idiot savant perk.
I can tolerate that for a season personally, but then again, the writer in me is thinking, okay, if you're going to continue to be like this, then you should have ascended to you should have been chapter master of this Brotherhood chapter by season 2. You should have been declared such a hero. You should have just run with it because you're an idiot. You have a taste of power. You have a taste of acceptance. And now you should be just running with it. But in season 2, he's still kind of going like, what do I do now? It's like Meatwad on repeat. And it's hard for me to feel like he learned anything from season 1 because it sounds like he didn't. Okay, why am I wasting my time with this character? But I'm also a very impatient person these days, so maybe this is just my biases coming out.
That's fair. And we all have our perspectives on it, because I can totally see that too. It didn't hit me the same way with Maximus as maybe it did there. I definitely agree with you about the flashbacks. I mean,
well, do we want to talk about that? Do we want to talk about what they revealed in the flashbacks? Because that was a large part of this season.
I think that's kind of important, because what this season is really setting up for, it was only kind of hinted at the beginning. It was like how big a role the Enclave is going to have. And there's a part of me that is rolling my eyes, because I'm just like, God damn it, the Enclave again?
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, the Enclave were never, even in the wider lore, the Enclave were never really completely dealt with. The oil rig was blown up in Fallout 2. Raven Rock was dealt with, and the Purification Project handled in Fallout 3. And we know if you listen to the records in New Vegas, you know that there's a chapter of them, or a contingent of them, based out of Chicago at the very least, because that's where Eddie was sent from to go to Navarro.
Yeah.
So there's contingents of them still around. It's just, there's a part of me that's like, well, do they have to be big bads again? But
I almost prefer their status as it stands, which is that, like, yeah, we've seemingly dealt with them, but before that, they had their fingers in everything to such a degree that they're still inescapable in a sense.
Right.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly don't mind that the Enclave are the big bad again. It's the way that it was revealed to us in the show, and as you know, as fans, we're like, yeah, we know. But again, I would have preferred little seeds to have been planted in dialogue or just, character interaction with Lucy and the ghoul as they're making their way through the wasteland.
Yeah.
I would have preferred that because just the way that they're going about these flashbacks is so gratuitous. And we have House literally just saying, like, there's someone else bigger. Cooper, there's someone else bigger. Oh my God, who could it be? And I get it. Like, not everyone's going to understand that. But it just feels so unnecessarily blunt.
Mm-hmm. I did have some issues with that in that portion. Even though, again, I feel like for the most part, and almost to a ridiculous degree, the show really did want to emphasize how important House was as a character. Because, yeah, the House always wins. I don't think I'm happy that they didn't really humanize him, in my opinion. If anything, they made him more demented with the whole automated man thing that they've now introduced as this thing he basically gave to Vault Tech in exchange for hopefully getting the cold fusion.
They didn't.
I mean,
really
if anything, it just furthered
him.
It furthered the idea that this man's whole personality, like it was already established in Vegas, but even more so, this man's whole personality is just contingency plans.
They didn't humanize him, but they also made him strangely vulnerable. Like, they're almost excusing a lot of his behavior at the end, which is, I know you think I'm bad, Coop, but what about the big bad? Doesn't that kind of excuse what I've done? Don't you get it?
Mean,
I'm just weirdly autistic about this. It sits with me so poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I for one was very happy with the moment that is basically just like, all right, I'm past Cooper and I've figured out what to do. I figured out the right thing to do. I place the entirety of my faith in the United States government. Oops. Uh-oh.
Yep. That was actually a very cathartic moment for me because I also was like, in my head, I'm like, who we've never seen, we've never actually had any experience with is the pre-war president, the president of the United States who came before. And I love that we get to the limo, we see him, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Clancy Brown.
I will say the one thing I do love from the flashbacks was that sender, because whether like it was a farce or not, her role as a senator who's seemingly not taking bribes, doesn't have large corporate donors, who actually cares and is genuine, or at least is pretending to be, who the fuck knows anymore, and trying to make a difference, was a very, very cogent depiction given current year.
Yes.
In the face of billionaires controlling everything. I felt that was very Andor. I liked it a lot. I cannot talk down. That was really good.
No, I'm with you. And actually, I find it kind of surprising that the show does do some of the things it does and maintains some of the views that it does, considering it's being promoted on Amazon.
Owned by Jeff Bezos.
Oh, hey, everybody. Paramount was just cleared to basically buy Warner Brothers Discovery.
I can't even be mad at that anymore because someone's just going to buy it next year from a different company. Like, none of these corporate, none of these mergers and acquisitions really mean anything anymore. They're just going to do it all the time. Like, it's not a shock.
I care because of AEW.
Fair.
I'm sorry. But yeah, no, Diane Welsh, our senator who eventually becomes a head in a jar.
Great scene.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
Really good scene.
Again, like, I appreciated knowing some of the things I know. Like, all right. And this is just me too. Like, the pre-war stuff, like setting, I agree that bit about the blind faith and handing that over to the government, and then basically kind of getting McCarthy'd as a result.
Yeah.
So it did also clear some stuff up, in that I guess we can kind of imply that the divorce between or separation between Barb and Coop is purely because of the circumstances, and it's not for like them hating each other, which is, we don't know much about what's going on in that first flashback. I agree with you. I think I wanted to spend more time in the Wasteland. I wanted to spend more time talking to people, seeing the world, actually getting the world fleshed out more. But having time, there was a lot of time committed to those flashbacks. I'm a little bit like, I think going back to House though, real quick. I mean, granted, everything he did, this is not me defending House. I want to make this clear. Dude's a technocratic asshole.
Yeah.
And this is why I always choose independent, even though there's no perfect option when you play Fallout New Vegas. Even the independent ending has issues because of there's still a power vacuum, and your courier can only do so much. This is coming as someone who prefers that ending. House was at least trying to stay a step ahead as far as he knew, even if he didn't know what's going on, or at least he claimed he didn't, of the Enclave. By doing all this because he wanted ultimately to set up his system to defend New Vegas. So he was really telling Cooper the truth when in his mind, he's like, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm doing all this because I want to protect the city, basically.
He wants to protect his investments.
Which is exactly what he's saying, yes.
So, again, like...
his investment in Vegas.
I'm not the worst technocrat. Look, think about the other technocrats. Is not
terrible.
Is not a episode of vulnerability. It's passing. It's as Carla would call it, responsibility laundering.
Yeah, nor am I claiming it is. I'm just saying in his mind.
No, absolutely. It's just like, and again, it sticks with me. It's weird how much they focus on trying to humanize House when he is no better than any of them.
Right. I mean, again,
why are they spending so long doing it? Other than the fact that Jeff Bezos owns this.
You can't humanize a guy who literally pulls some people out of a bar in the very first episode, sticks a diode on one of their necks, and blows them up.
But they
some working class schlubs in a bar, Like I was immediately like, yeah, this is not a good person. Nothing after this is ever going to justify House being a good person. He is not.
It's
the whole mind control thing was his thing. So yeah, that's fucking awful.
I know. I'm reading.
There's
a lot
no but
into
to
it.
that.
Perhaps, but it just like House's depictions sat so poorly with me, and it still does. And he's still there, so I don't know.
That's true. They didn't bump him off. Some version of him has survived, even if they're not gonna explain how it is. Leaving the possibility that the person you killed in New Vegas in the pod could have been. By the way, did you all know there's a fan name for
yes
for Robert Stubble?
Mr.
I did not know that.
Yes, Bobby Apartment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the actor is apparently really into it.
Well, he did his research. He was actually doing. I remember him in an interview, and he was saying that he delved into it, and he was talking all about. Yeah, I know how House's parents died in a gyro accident. I know about Anthony House, his brother. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you know your stuff, dude.
That's all.
Now, Rafi Silva's great as Bobby Apartment. But yeah, okay. So House flashbacks, Cooper, whatever. What about Lucy and the Ghoul? I mean, I'm okay. Hold on. We talked about Chet and Steph, kind of, and that to me was great. Steph grew on me just knowing that she's Canadian and what she had to deal with.
And that again, like if it had not been buried under so many other things, I would love it even more.
Yeah,
Lucy and the Ghoul. I understand that. I don't know, man. Like Lucy is learning a lot of things, and that is good. That's exactly how they should be dealing with her character.
Yeah.
But because we are just spending so much time worrying about Coop in the past, it kind of just made me feel like, oh my God, this is going to sound so petty, but I just got very annoyed at the end. Mm-hmm. And so we're having this very emotional moment with her like thinking, do I kill my dad? And I've spent the last 3 episodes going, shoot your dad in the face right now.
Yeah.
Kill your fucking dad. And that's not fair to the idea of like, could I fucking do that? Probably not. I don't have that in me. But as far as like setting up the character, I like the fact that she got fucking hooked on Jet at one point.
That was
Buff
that was
out.
great.
Buff out. That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And then like there's parts of the Ghoul and Lucy being together and having these interactions that I fucking loved. I loved how it started. The fact that they were in Novak. But then we again took half the season to just have them apart and just having other flashbacks happen. And I was like, I want to see these two almost constantly together going through the wasteland and having wacky adventures. And then they just left each other for a while. And then they came back and I don't know. It felt very hollow. I have a lot of feelings about this.
Did you binge the season?
I binged it over 3 days, I think, because I finally had some time to myself. So it was not all at once.
I think it's possible I was less annoyed with a lot of the things you were annoyed with because I was watching it weekly.
I think that might be the same case with me. Actually, Alan makes a good point because we were watching it as it came out.
That's fair. And I purposefully waited for the whole thing to come out because I didn't want to wait for that. And I still stand by my statement, though, that this needs to be more than 8 episodes.
Yeah, no, I think we can. Sure. I think we can all agree on that. It needed more room. It needed more room to breathe. And if it had it, I think it just with a couple more episodes, it could have been golden because we could have had time to answer some of those lingering what ifs, some of those lingering questions. We could have had time to maybe not ham fist as many subplots all into one place. I agree with you about Lucy and the Ghoul. I think their interactions are fun. I wish they hadn't been separated as much. I know like there was a point where when she first goes off and meets Caesar's Legion, like all that setup starts to build toward that. I was thinking to myself, oh shit, this is exactly what Abysmii was talking about. We were discussing it last week. Like what's going to happen with her when she meets the Legion? And there was a line that when she's taking the slave back to the Legion, not knowing anything, and her being the slave says something about like, you probably shouldn't go there. She's right or not. And she says some quote about, basically, I wouldn't want you to get by the wrong people, And I was like, oh God, that encapsulates the Legion so much.
I ultimately didn't get my wish for what was on the note on Kaiser.
Yeah, but, I'm sorry. I remember you telling me about that.
My secret prayer is someone was eventually going to unfold that note and read it, and it was just going to say, haha, killed your emperor. You guys are a bunch of wieners. Signed, Boone.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm all for Rome Alone too, though.
I would, there's another way they could have done this.
And Milwaukee Culkin saying the thing about Kaiser's Palace is just how has no one made that joke before?
Right.
No. I know.
That was good enough for me to be like, you know what? Yeah, actually. Yeah.
They earned that.
No,
they actually earned that.
Fucking fair. That's another, like, as we're talking about it, that's another way I could have accepted this season is if you're going to split up Lucy and the Ghoul, Lucy naively wanders into the Legion camp, but Milwaukee Culkin understands her value and says, okay, let's not crucify this profligate and let's use her. And she has to, because a lot of the season was her, kind of realizing, things really are bad out here. And I'm having an existential crisis as to what that means. I got hooked on Buff Out. Being trapped in Caesar's Legion and having to work for them is a perfect arena for her to really get to grips with that.
Right.
Meanwhile, the Ghoul is joined back up with the NCR reluctantly, and they're still trapped in this giant war over the Hoover Dam. And then fine, at the end, it's like, hey, the Hoover Dam doesn't actually matter because we have cold fusion, and I guess House has it because, I don't know, Maximus got it to House. Oh, crap, everyone converge on Vegas. That would have been fun for me, and it would not have committed to an ending, and, like, who the fuck knows where they're going to go with it. But
I really don't.
I'd be Charlie screaming at the screen if that happened, personally.
I don't know. Here's a small thing. I just realized this. I was definitely noticing the way things jumped around in time without getting explained. in terms of like, we don't know how much time has actually passed in certain places. It makes it feel like certain things took place over it, like there wasn't a lot of care and thought into it. If you stop and think about it, more time has passed in the course of like the characters moving around than you think. But I don't think the show takes enough care to show the passage of time. It feels like we're constantly flashing back, and having the flashbacks to 2077 doesn't help. But like some people are like, was that war in the Caesar's camp going on for like multiple days? I'm like, no. If anything, we're flashing back to that same afternoon. So
we don't know.
Culkin had an opportunity to, go when all this was first going down, go read the note, figure it out, eat the note, declare himself Caesar, and then had a few days to maybe go back to wherever the Legion is camped, stake his claim, and then start marching into Vegas. So, but like, there's other weird things like Lucy and the Ghoul being in the Strip, fighting the Death Claws, running away, and then suddenly cutting to broad daylight, and they're still standing outside the gate like, yep, Death Claws. I'm like, but you were there in the dead of night. Like, so it's just...
Paprika had a problem with that too.
It was...
What is happening when? And I explained where I could, but at some point I was like, I actually don't know how long the Legion's been in a civil conflict.
I'm speculating. Like I said, we don't have a lot of answers, and that's what's frustrating as someone who wants to know these things about the universe.
I have to come to terms with the fact that season 3 is also going to be a lot about what happened in the past. I want to keep with this show. This is still the strongest video game adaptation I think I've ever seen in my life.
Agreed.
So
again, the knowledge that I knew after season 1, I had the knowledge that the Westworld people made this show, and that was a show that was about bouncing between timelines.
And it's probably why I have a lot of problems, because I watched the first episode of Westworld and I said, turn all the robots off. Just turn the robots off. Stop waiting to turn the robots off. And I found myself in this season going, kill your dad. Kill your dad. Just shoot your dad in the face right now.
I can't.
But he's Kyle MacLachlan.
I can't get behind Kill Your Dad, because the moment he showed up at the base and poured himself a cup of coffee and straight up had his Twin Peaks moment, I was like, protect this man at all costs. I know he's terrible, but like,
I was Kayla made a good reference and said, if I had a nickel for every time I watched Kyle MacLachlan lose his mind in Las Vegas, I have 2 nickels.
But like, he's the perfect actor for this role. And I have to wonder how much of his quirks were stuff added by him. Mm-hmm. Because like, did someone like come to him and be like, okay, for like the next 2 episodes, you're going to be playing with a yo-yo and blowing up mice.
Which I like.
And if was, my brain was just like, now did they tell him to do? Did they tell him to do that? And he's worked with David Lynch previously, so it was like, yeah, whatever.
I think that's my biggest thing, is because if we kept that and we took out all of the flashbacks, would we really lose anything?
We wouldn't get to see President Kyle MacLachlan.
We would have him blowing up mice and drinking coffee, and that's fucking awesome.
But yeah, like the more he kept playing with the yo-yo, I was just like, is this a note Kyle gave? Was Kyle just like, by the way, I'm gonna be playing with a yo-yo in these scenes.
I'm gonna be doing weird shit.
Well, what's a subplot? I personally think it was kind of a real nothing burger this season.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff with Norm.
I liked Norm's subplot. Hear me out.
Okay.
I like that it's very different from Lucy. I like that she's trying to intrinsically trust people, and Norm said, I'm just going to straight up manipulate people out the gate because this is how the game is played. So I liked that dichotomy.
Okay.
Again, unfortunately, it's buried under 20 other subplots.
That's my issue, I think. It's just like I was getting invested in other stuff, and we get back to Norm, and he's still kind of just flailing around with the Vault Tech, these junior executives, and I'm just like, where is this going?
I'm erring on the side of I'm a big fan of the Norm subplot.
Okay, maybe it's just me.
I love that Hank seemingly forgot he has multiple children.
Yeah. Oh, and that makes me root for Norm even more, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
Don't get me wrong. I like Norm. I like Norm as a character. I just think there were some points in there where I was just like,
well, again,
I like the office drone vault dweller dynamic.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And
again, imagine if Norm and Lucy had both broken out of the vault at the same time through different measures, and we tracked them in their different but parallel experiences. I think it would have felt a lot stronger instead of waiting until season 2 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just my 2 cents.
Yeah,
I'm in an environment where I have to. I'm in a job right now where I do a lot of walking around an office environment and just hear the way that office drones talk to people to each other.
Yeah,
and it's a different kind of dystopian.
Yes, no, 100%.
Just catching glimpses of conversations that, like, hey, I had a chicken salad sandwich in the fridge and don't know if anyone else saw where that might have gone, or did they clean the fridges on Friday or Thursday?
I mean, considering the de facto like leader of the I don't remember his name, but the guy who was very much like, oh yeah, I was Bud Askin's like personal assistant. So I know the most about. He's like, yeah, I know because I was getting the sandwiches. I'm like, yeah, that actually yeah, that
and
tracks.
like walking around the office and seeing like whiteboard notes that like, oh, this is where the coffee club meets. This is where we do our special coffee on Tuesdays, and it's like,
yeah.
Man, I miss having my own desk at a job, but also fuck every bit of this.
Yeah, that's why I really like the Norm subplot, because it's like watching Silicon Valley again. It's a little too real because it's very accurate.
Yeah,
I think for me it was just like I was expecting stuff like that, but I just stuff would happen there. I'm like, okay, but then I just, in my head at the time, I kept going, is this getting any closer to getting the answers I want, though, for stuff? Like, how does focusing on this, or like the nonsense going on in Vault 33 with the water problem, how is that going to, because my singular focus at this point is like, what has happened? Why doesn't anybody stop and talk to anybody?
That is so immaterial next to the fact that Thaddeus was running a bottle cap factory.
That part was funny.
Yeah, but that was really immaterial next to the fact that Steph is Canadian. And that's really immaterial next to, and this, you see my point here.
Yeah.
Like, all of these isolated are, I think I like all of them for the most part. You can't have 50 next to each other. I'm going to keep talking because these are Bluetooth headphones and I can hear what you're saying.
Thaddeus is maybe my other favorite character. Yeah,
I agree. Okay, so on that note, I have a funny story to tell, but you go first.
And as much as I love the actor who plays him and think he does a great job with this, I think Charlie from Always Sunny should have played Thaddeus.
Oh my God, Charlie Day.
Yeah.
What did we? I appreciated the little moments between him and Maximus. I liked finding out, for example, like Thaddeus grew up in the boneyard.
Yeah.
Which in this timeline which in this universe is just okay, but in this universe you're only a stone's throw away from Shady Sands, technically.
And like it makes sense that Thaddeus has adopted this like weird take everything in stride attitude.
Yeah.
It's because he is someone, he's like the polar opposite of Lucy, but like kind of got to the same place as Lucy because of it, where like Lucy is nice to people because she believes that everyone has good in their heart, yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
And Thaddeus is nice to people because everything's shit. Everything is shit and terrible, and it's not going to add to adding to everything being shit and terrible is not you fix it.
Exactly.
Even like when he explains why he kind of bullied Maximus, it was like, well, it's what everyone else was doing.
Yep. It's a good point. I'd almost forgotten about that, how their relationship was before he basically had to get injected with whatever is turning him into the new Herald.
Yeah.
Or possibly a centaur.
And it was him going with the motions, because not going with the motions is what gets you fucking killed.
Yep. Honestly, if I was in the position he was in, yeah, I would help help a bunch of kids who were ghoulified or not. Just
help is an interesting way of phrasing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I agree with you that Charlie should have absolutely played Thaddeus. That would have been holy fuck. Oh my god!
I want to see a flashback though. I want to see a flashback though. If we're gonna have flashbacks, we saw Maximus as a kid. Let's see Thaddeus growing up in the boneyard as a kid. Let's show his dad and have his dad be Charlie Day.
So two things. This is also just a personal thing. I just don't like cringe humor of a certain way. Like the humor that Thaddeus employs, I hate it. That is me. That is all on me. I like the fact that he's turning into a ghoul. Again, I kind of wish that he like randomly joined up with the ghoul and somehow like made, or even like discovered the super mutant before the ghoul did and was just there. Because then at least it would be thematically appropriate to me of, oh, hey, everything is shit and just go with the flow. You're a fucking ghoul. Let's do this crap. And does the ghoul have to actually agree to that? No, but I would love an episode or two of him just trying to be convinced. I thought that would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we got such a delightful glimpse of what that could have been when it's Maximus the Ghoul and Thaddeus together. I was like, oh, this was a pairing I didn't know I want. This was like a trio I didn't know I wanted to see. I liked it just for the little bit that they were together.
There's a lot of teases of combinations, and none of them are really committed to.
I know. It's a shame because I really like the dynamic that Maximus and the Ghoul had when you can kind of see there's now kind of a burgeoning respect for each other, at least just a little bit, just a hint of it. And I thought that was neat. But
I do find it this is an accolade I can give the show. There's a lot of different takes you can take on all of these characters, and we're all coming at from different angles. I actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that we all have these different perspectives, but like I didn't say, and again, I don't think any of us could say the show is bad. Do we have our gripes? Yes. Do we have more gripes maybe than we did in the first season? Sure.
Yeah.
But
I had more gripes about this season. I still came away from it thinking it's maybe the best video game adaptation I've ever seen.
I'm struggling to think of a better one. I really
know
can't.
Some people would argue the Sonic the Hedgehog movies are, but I haven't seen any of them. So
now that you say that, but those are good adaptations, but they're good adaptations of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't think they went far enough with Shadow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They could have gone farther. He was the best part of that movie, but I wanted more.
I also think they're learning their lesson in the fact that like there's way less stuff with humans every single movie.
Yeah. If they have a fourth, and I'm hoping they do, because this is the times. Fuck it.
They just announced yes. And
are we getting Rouge?
We're definitely getting Amy Rose.
Yeah, but
I don't know about Rouge yet.
Are we getting Vector? Are we getting my boy Vector?
Abysmii. I actually do. Okay, this is somewhat unrelated, but I said before, I'll say it again. Sega cares more about their in-universe continuity than I think a lot of other people do. Like literally constantly referencing back to things that happened in the past timeline. They will make all kinds of obscure references. I have been listening to a podcast. This is not a plug, but if people like Sonic, I appreciate it. There's a podcast that just came out that is a mystery noir story, very comedic, starring the Chaotix.
Oh,
okay.
That's insane.
I mean,
it's a mystery noir with Charmy, Vector, and Espio, and Vector is the narrator, and Vector is the main character.
I do keep, every child of the Pokemon era wanted dark and gritty Pokemon. So I can't even knock that.
It's honestly pretty funny to be listening to this and being like, oh, wow, they're actually like, I have been listening to it and go, oh, cool. And like in the first episode, they straight up go like, they're straight up like Vector mentions they're going out to grab ice cream in Station Square, and the jazz music suddenly goes into a jazzy version of the Station Square theme in the background. And as they're walking, you hear seagulls and you hear a little voice in the background go, "Welcome to Twinkle Park." And it's just like, oh my God, you guys care.
Some may make the argument for the first season of The Last of Us being a better video game adaptation, but here's my thing with The Last of Us. I played through and beat the entirety of the first Last of Us game, and I thought it was very, very good. Mm-hmm. And everything that's been announced about The Last of Us after that, the sequel, the TV series, I can't pinpoint what my reason for this is without I never read any of like specific reviews or anything that turned me off the idea of getting into those. I just don't give a shit to continue down that path any further.
Fair. Things just need to end sometimes.
Yeah. The Last of Us is great, and the first game, and I think a big part of the reason that The Last of Us is great is it ends and then it's done.
I've never played Red Dead Redemption 2 because Red Dead Redemption 1 is really, really, really fucking good. Okay. And here's the thing, like from what I've heard, 2 is amazing. And
it's incredible.
No, yeah. And I'm not knocking anybody from playing it. I personally am just like, I don't think I really want to. I think I'm all right. I don't need to know about the backstory because the characters were so incredibly satisfying and the narrative was just so nicely wrapped up that this was really fucking fun. I don't really need anything else from it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to deviate us too much, but
no, I mean, we've been talking about Fallout for a fucking hour.
Yeah. Well, I think what this all, to sum it all up, honestly, is like we had just as much to say as we did last time. But I think the last point I want to make, I think we can all agree it's probably, even with those other examples noted, this is, in my opinion, the best video game adaptation to television I've ever witnessed. And this is coming, and second only to Donkey Kong Country, the TV show. But, I mean, if you heard DK's singing voice, you're going to hear it every episode because for some reason there's a lot of music. But one last little.
My legit show I'd put right behind it is Twisted Metal. But
there you go.
Yeah, no, fair. And I haven't seen I really need to binge the newest season. I just haven't got around to it.
What? I know we kind of talked about this last time. That was almost what it was all about last time. But what do you kind of hope to see in the next season? What are some of your hopes for the next season?
Titties.
Man.
No.
More titties. Yeah. Ghoul titties, mostly.
We haven't seen a lot of lady ghouls.
No. Fucking chauvinist ass show.
If they could and this is just not plot stuff, this is just a cool thing I would like to see how they did it if it was cool. I want to see with practical effects, even if it's not Cooper Howard, I want to see a glowing one.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh,
yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
It looks possible that Cooper Howard could become a glowing one. But
since he got stuck with radiation, since Ron Perlman stuck him with radiation.
Yep.
Shoved a fucking hunk of uranium into his ass. Yeah. I would like to see super mutant Ron Perlman have his way with Cooper's asshole. Anyway.
Instead of his chest hole?
I mean, whatever hole, man.
Every hole's a goal.
Coop needs some love.
Why do you think he went to the Atomic Wrangler? He was not hungry or thirsty. Well, he was thirsty.
Oh, he just got real depressed. That was real fun.
We did get patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter in a way that made sense. Can I talk about the only flashback I really, really liked was that we got to see fucking Shady Sands for a little bit. That made me happy.
I just wanted a bunch of prostitutes outside of Gomorrah. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, they're called Death Claws. Did you see how many eggs there were?
Maybe my favorite moment this season, I can't believe I forgot to talk about it, and the moment that felt the most New Vegas to me is when Lucy goes to the back door of that shop to rob it.
Oh yeah.
And there's the guy in the tiny shirt and pants.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Wasn't Mick and Ralph's, but that's fine. I'm happy it wasn't.
What do I want from the show for season 3? I want them to just move on. They're not going to do that. So what would I realistically expect from season 3 is, this is going to sound weird considering everything I just said. What I think is going to happen, and if this is the way they're going to go with it, okay, that the ghoul is going to make his way towards Colorado. And I'm hoping, because Ron Perlman did say you're going to need friends. And I think that's foreshadowing. I hope that's foreshadowing. I hope that he just meets up with an enclave of super mutants and ghouls, and we have a real fun time. That's my jam. And then Lucy and Maximus have to deal with the armies converging on Vegas, but we'll see. That's what I would like. And if we can just pull back on the flashbacks just a little bit, please, I will be happy and I'll continue watching.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think I would hope that if the ghoul is going to go to Colorado, I want to see the show be like, okay, we've played around with stuff that you already know. Let's expand the universe a little bit. I actually want to see what the show could come up when it's going into territory we haven't really seen, with the exception, of course, of Fallout Tactics. And there have definitely been some people who have been saying, I wonder if we're going to get some nods to Fallout Tactics. It's lore savvy enough that they could, but I'm going like, we'll see. But it would be neat. It would be neat to see what life is like in Fallout's version of Colorado.
I just don't see them. I see them committing hardcore to just exploring what happened in the past, and then everything in the future is a vehicle for window dressing. And I really hope I'm wrong, because that would be very underwhelming.
I would like them to veer back into the world as it is now. I want to see them interact with the people in the Wasteland and not have them all just be necessarily such kooky cookie cutter characters.
Yeah, when everyone's related to Lucy's past or whatever, like Lucy's the locus of this, it just gets a little tiring. But this is also a TV show for people who may not know anything about Fallout, so I have to accept that.
Right. I also agree. I think I'm willing to. If they want to stick around in New Vegas with Lucy and Maximus and Thaddeus and everybody else that's there, cool. And then at least we get that. We at least get some continuity there. But I just want to see. I want the show to not feel like it has to be so obligated to. I want to see it explore a little bit. That's all. I don't want it to be obligated to having to show us the past. I also don't want it. I really don't want it to veer into like some of the stuff House was talking about, where it's like, why are you so important to my calculations about the end of the world, Mr. Howard? How does this factor in? And how does this factor in? Can we not make Cooper Howard the fucking chosen one? We already had the chosen one. He lived in they lived in Arroyo, and they went and they destroyed the Enclave the first time. We had a chosen one. We don't need Cooper Howard to be that.
You're a wizard, Howard.
That's really my main thing. It's my expectations for what they're doing are not as high as they were previously, but I just kind of want them to not feel like they have to toe this weird line about like keeping things vague when it comes to established stuff.
Isn't the ghoul in Fallout 76 now?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He is. Me and my girlfriend play Fallout 76, and
Fallout 76 never changes.
It's changed quite a bit, actually.
No.
I'm kidding.
He's right, because two of my best friends here locally play it, and they have a very, very honest take on Fallout 76, and they bought it for Paprika and I. And we're like, hey, I'm so sorry. Abysmii's computer can't run it. And Paprika tried it. And like, it's just like, there's some problems with it. And they were like, oh no, that was on sale. So we just bought it for you. Like, no, we get it. That was it. But they love it. Like they're playing it all the goddamn time. And I'm happy that they're enjoying it because they're amazing people.
Well, cool. And I know there's a good reason that Cooper could be there in 20 years after the Great War. He's got time. He's wandered around. He does bounty hunting, I guess. Sure. Maybe he was there looking for his
more
family.
Importantly, when is Shadow the Hedgehog going to be in Fallout 76?
Well, that's where they're going to have
gun.
to bring up Archimedes too, because we know Archimedes is just the code name for the Eclipse cannon.
When is Neil Breen going to be in Fallout 76?
I'd
be okay with that.
When are we going to get the crossover with Return to Silent Hill?
He's hitting my butt. He's hitting my butt.
Don't break my butt. He's breaking my butt.
Let go and leave the world behind.
Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinara, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.